Alright. I begin to wonder why it's really worth my life. I remember the way the boys helped me organize the house party and helped me home after Maxwell's Alex's ordeal, you know, the thing that they started and brought me into. By then I remembered I'm only human. I wasn't a demon. I wasn't special. I'm just a regular human. World of magic was far too large for me. I already had a world to face without magic being involved. I felt the wave of sadness rush through me, painting the memories of all that had happened the past few days one last time, before speaking up. Fine. Take my memories. I couldn't keep them. They were beyond my world. I knew that beyond that I needed to know. I was never meant to know them. Diana nodded.
Glad you understand now.
Pit beast below me closed its jaws, vanishing into nothing as I lowered to the ground. I stood up straight and looked at Diana resolved. Diana sighed before closing her hand and muttering Latin phrases under her breath, loud enough for me to barely hear. She then opened her hand and revealed a small purple vial. What's this?
A memory potion. It will remove all of the memories of demons and magic from your mind. With the memories gone, you can live your life as free as you want.
Sick.
I have a spell for them. As soon as you drink that potion, you sign your contract with me. And...
Whoops. Sorry. You signed your contract with me. And I'll take the boys back to where they belong. Will
I'll
they
make sure
remember me?
they won't. They won't even remember ever thinking about coming to the human world.
Dang, Diana, you're kind of a bitch. And I kind of love you. I didn't use it before now, or I had to drink it anyway.
Because demon magic isn't black and white, dear. The one catch is that the potion has to be drunk with full natural consent. So I can't just slip it into your chocolate milk or pour it into your mouth as you sleep. That's the downside of good succubus magic.
So I'll be...
Plain, boring human. No potential, no abilities, no memories to even have abilities. You'll be a plain Jane girl in a plain Jane world.
So, for those of you like, man, you're going down the sick-ass demon path, what are you doing? If you want to see that, go play the game yourself. I'm here trying to get to a goddamn ending now. But I will say that it is cast my intrigue, but I will go more into that after we get to some fucking credits, goddammit. I noted before looking at the vial, my memory exchanging for my humanity. I popped a cork the vial and gingerly brought it to my lips. Goodbye magic, goodbye demons, goodbye really, really, really strange and out there future that I kinda didn't want to have in the first place. Hello, normalcy. I tilted my head back and chugged down the drink. Thinking his magic already starting its work as I reached into the inside of my mouth. I felt kinda dizzy and sick, and I sucked down every last drop of the liquid. I felt the memories of the boys fade away. I never met them in my house, and I never moved in. Or when I moved in, I was never attacked by Malik's or his goons. I was never kidnapped. I never met Diana. After I finished drinking, I felt my body grow weak. Almost becoming unable to continue standing up, my vision blurred and fuzzy as I couldn't help let my eyes shut. I asked for this. I wouldn't have the boys protecting me anymore. I didn't even have to open my eyes. I fell into Diana's arms.
It's for your own good, sweetie. Forget about it and be normal. I'm sorry.
A fine range full of life. There are no demons, no magic, no devils to drive me crazy. Everything was normal, everything was peaceful, everything was ordinary. Just the way Diana wanted. Just the way I wanted. See, this is... I wanted this. This is fine. Eventually, the morning arrived and the sun screamed at me to get up. Surprisingly, I woke up before my alarm clock, which again was nice. I stretched out my body quickly, got dressed, got ready for school, and went over to my mind whatever happened on the weekend. So surprisingly wary. I moved in Friday night and held a house party on Saturday and joined my day Sunday, and yeah, that sounds about right. I scooped up my bag and headed toward the downstairs dining room. The room was empty and I felt hungry. I needed to eat something. I looked at my phone and saw a text I must have completely forgotten about.
Dude, are you okay? Did the drive home yesterday go okay with your dad?
I tried to remember, but for some reason yesterday's event seemed blurry and almost blank. I remember going to school, dealing with Lizette, and then coming home. I don't remember ever being picked up by him. I must have been, or else I wouldn't be home. I rubbed my head and tried to check out my exhaustion. Damn studying. Signed and texted back. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to text it back, girl. Everything's fine. See you when I get there. I made myself a quick toast and coffee. Needed a jump start. I felt drained and I didn't want to fall back asleep in class. Something bothered me though. My house felt empty, or at least emptier than when I came. Emptier than when I came for some reason. I could put my finger on it, but it just kind of bothered me. I finished my food and quickly rushed to the front, waiting for Naomi's car and confident that nothing was going to happen. I avoided talking about what happened yesterday. I'll be riding with you guys from now on from school. I was into school, we quickly gathered our things in lockers and hid in class. There were no events to my surprise. Namely, Susie took the seats around me, Susie in front of me, Naomi beside me. Before the schoolhouse bell ring, class guaranteed to our teacher. History class wasn't as boring as economic, but I managed to space out even in that class just the same. Susie seemed very tensed, focused on her desk more than usual. I was tempted to poke her to see what was wrong. My phone vibrated in my pocket. Thank God I set it on vibrate before class. Pulled out my phone and checked it to see a text from Naomi. I began to text back, suddenly going into my text conversation.
Hey, do you know what's wrong with Suzu?
No.
Oh, I hope she's okay. She looks so stern.
Same here. I looked over it again at Suzu, who was intently scribbling on her notebook, almost obsessively so. Looked up at her new, thinking purple pencil. It was almost tight enough to bend it. Each stroke that she
by
made.
the way, did you hear? Apparently, Suzu's family is really involved with the mob. My dad told me he saw Suzu's dad in court this morning with a big-time crime boss.
I mean, that's not what that means. But hey, you know. Something was in her heart. It makes me keep seeing her again. I was worried. Yet for some reason I felt a little sad. Oh yeah, that's why she keeps saying she's Italian. So the mafia's thing. That seems a little on the nose. And also, more than Italian people have mafias. Gonna throw that out there. Anyway, Susan almost sworn up and down that her family had no relation to crime lords, yet this happened. Now, why is this happening? Put my phone back in my pocket. Ending the conversation. Hopefully, Susie would explain something to me soon. I was worried beyond belief about Susie's position within her family. Time continued until the end of class period, and in that exact status, Suzu held her intense ground, focusing on nothing more than incorrect scribbles on her paper. Naomi and I watched in worry, not caring for the class we were in. As the bell rang, Suzu stood up suddenly.
I gotta go. See you guys later.
Suzu zipped out of class like she was fleeing from the devil himself.
What just happened?
I don't know. And for the sake of not fucking this up, and giving you guys an actual ending, I'm gonna save again, and I'm gonna go chase after Suzu. I needed to know what was wrong. Suzu was important to me, and I needed to help her. I grabbed my things and rushed out the room.
Where are you going? Hey!
I was listening. I needed to get to Suzu. Oh, it was full of students. Made spotting Suzu a little harder. Yep, totally full of students. Suzu. I quickly made a push through the trying to find a trace of her hair, her jacket, anything. I managed to get a glimpse of her green jacket, instinctively following it down the hall of the classroom, because she's the only one in school who wears a green jacket. The class was the other way. Where was she going? I expected to see Suzu peeking into the class. No one else was there except Suzu. She was shocked to see Suzu standing over an empty desk, slamming her fist into the wood. I didn't know what to do. The world behind me, all slow motion as I stared at Suzu's back. She was obviously wanting to be alone, but I wanted to help her fix whatever was bothering her. I can always go back and use the power of save states, so I'm gonna go try to help her. I couldn't leave her like this. I quickly stepped into the room and closed the door. Suzu flinched and freeze up. Suzu grabbed yes for returning me, stark expression in her face. Tears that painted her cheeks, made her heart sink into my chest. What's wrong?
Nothing.
Alright, this is where the voice actor makes those big bucks. Let's go. Suzu quickly rubbed her eyes and face. Not me. Trying to cover her face and clean off all the sadness. I pressed my lips together, not believing her. Suzu, talk to me. You're acting strange in history.
Just listening to the lecture.
You and I both know that you would never do that. You're scribbling in your textbook.
I have bad handwriting.
It's true that she wouldn't write notes about class. She didn't care much for class, like Naomi and me. Why was she lying to me? What was going on? What was making her so distraught? Susie, if you're ever troubling,
You can't help me, okay?
I stepped back, feeling the anger in her voice. She covered her mouth, grinning when it came out. It turned almost in pure fright at me. I stepped toward her as I continued to repeat her name, which I did a lot in the past 5 minutes. I stepped toward her, when I wanted to scare her, but I wanted to be closer. Susie didn't seem affected, so I continued to walk toward her. Eventually, we were only a desk apart from each other. Tell me. Susie stared at it before letting out a shuddering sigh, nodding in defeat. I slowly took a seat in front of the desk in front of me, watching for as I moved to stand in front of him.
I've been having some issues, okay?
What
I'm
about?
supposed to help out the casino after graduation.
Isn't that good? As someone who is also having mixed feelings about inheriting a job, I feel like I should be able to assume that she also has mixed feelings about it. But hey.
Yeah, hey. And blood money.
What do you mean? Is there something going on with the
I get the
casinos?
pleasure of being a true Italian.
What do you mean?
Dad's always wanted to own a casino, but my dad's an immigrant and whatever, so language barriers kept him from doing that. Luckily, my mom's pure Chicagoan, and so she knows English. When they opened up the casino together, I thought it'd be a great experience.
These are weird dreams, but alright. In it for the long haul.
A couple of suits showed up to our house last night. Mafia suits. claimed that we were under protection as part of the Capone family.
That's weird and specific, but alright. We're here. We're in this.
Look, I knew my family was a little messed up, but to be related to Capone was beyond crazy. My mother swore up and down that she had no relation to them, but apparently, through a marriage and a couple contracts, we're technically part of the family. Even if it isn't true, they made my folks sign out a protection license.
It's all crazy. God. Al Capone was the Chicago monster Robin Hood. That's not a thing you want to compare that to. That's two very different things. But knew how to keep a family together. I never knew Susie's family was so involved. Susie so protective of her family, no wonder she was upset. She preached so often that other family wasn't involved with things like that. Even Naomi defended her. I had to stop. This wasn't helping Susie. I needed her to feel better beyond anything else. So what happens to you?
Nothing. We pay a part of our profit to the family, and we're protected. Protected my ass. Bribe money to make sure we don't lose business or get bombed.
Susie stared down the disc between us, her hands tightening into fists.
This is bullshit. I was gonna be normal. I was gonna be happy. I was gonna finally be normal enough to ask you out.
I felt like I was dreaming. She covered her mouth and stared at me, as if she slammed me and regretted moving her hand. Because, she reacted in almost the same way when my dad slammed me and then regretted it, moving his hand. Stared and lost my own thought. Susie pounded the desk with her fist again.
This is great! Just great! Just turn around.
I stood there and turned, bang. I lost my own train of thought. I needed to do something to help her subconsciously. I could hear Susie grumbling to
This
herself.
is stupid! Stupid! I need to stop.
Susie groaned. I could feel these emotions radiate into my back. I felt myself step forward, away from Susie in reaction. Though quickly, Susie grabbed a hold of my vest. Even though it was covered up by this little purple thing. Breaking my own
I like
thoughts.
you. I really do, okay?
I felt my heart flutter in flattery. Susie, one of my best friends, liked me. I wasn't sure what to say. Susie gripped my vest tightly, pulling me slightly. I wanted to turn around and hug her, but right now she needed to let her
I
emotions
like
out.
you, but I don't want to ask you out like this. I don't want people to think you're affiliated with the Mafia, kid. This whole situation's just messed up, and
I don't feel like people who are in that situation should really be ashamed of it. I mean, it's kind of fucked up, but it's kind of a fucked up thing, so, I felt my heart drop. She cared about me and wanted to protect me from her reputation. I was flattered, but at the same time I was angry. She was my best friend. She liked me enough to confess her feelings to me, despite her situation. What can I say to her, though? This was a huge deal for both me and her. She had to be one of my best friends in the majority of my life. And here she was, confessing to have a crush on me. It was surreal. It made me both feel strange and fluffy. Susie sighed, and let go of my vest, and I turned around to see her run her fingers through her
look,
hair.
I'm sorry. I guess I needed to vent. I feel better now.
Everyone's entitled to their emotions, and communicating them is healthy for your mind. I couldn't help but stare at Susan longer, not expecting me to say anything in return. A sentence bubbled in my stomach, forcing itself out of my mouth without a filter. Yeah. I don't know what came over me. I let it slip out. I liked her, though. I liked her a lot. She was badass and cute in her own special way. I loved that she was an individual, stayed true to herself no matter what Naomi or I did. She was sure she was a little aggressive, but that added to the charm. She stared wide-eyed at me, blushing as red as could be. I was positive that if she blushed anymore, she would faint from all the blood rushing to her cheeks and the color of that red.
Did you just...
Yes, I did. I stepped forward and gently took Susie's hand. I needed her to know how I felt. She poured her feelings onto me, and it was more than fair for me to share mine with her. I really liked you too. You're adorable, and I love that about you. You're caring and fun, and you have this sort of charm. Susie, will you go out with me? Susie was completely red in the face, but her eyes started to water. Rogue tears dripped down the edges of her eyes as she almost glared at me.
But what about...
I don't care. We'll deal with it as it comes, and for now I want to be with you. Truly. Susie started... God, Susie stared before rushing at me and hugging me tightly, burying her face in my chest. I held her tightly, wanting to comfort her. Part of my heart was filled with joy. I felt happy, and nothing was going to stand in our way. Months went by since Susie's convention. Oh, cool, I think we're at the ending. We're at the ending. It's been so long. This game has a lot of shit for being a free game. Also, I did most of the talking. Okay, here we go. Months went by. It's got a problem with the voice. Months went by. since Suzu's confession. We were happy, and eventually graduation came along. The rest of the story could almost be passed over. I graduated from school as one of the top 10 students in my class. My family was proud, even my dad. Maybe it was because I did my best in school. Maybe it was because I finally had a woman in his eye. I was finally a woman in his eyes. Suzu, my girlfriend, went to work at the casino right after school, learning both security and machine design. I guess her love of video games drew her interest into the slot machines, which isn't how that works at all. Soon she was able to fix broken and hacked machines within mere moments. That is true. That's actually not a hard thing to do. As for her family, we weren't afraid of the protection that we had. We weren't afraid of the protection that they had, but they were cautious with every business meeting that they held with bank bigwigs. Suzu would often drag me into the arcade to blow off steam when something went wrong. But what of my future? Well, with Suzu's support, I finally decided to stand up for myself, and after I graduated, Andrew and I presented our cases, and the board decided to have Andrew step into the CEO position at Anderson Toy Company. Those goddamn fools. My father was beyond shocked. I congratulated Andrew and went on to the University of Chicago to get a degree while Andrew dedicated himself full-time to the company. Andrew vowed to respect the wishes of the late CEO and help the company become an even grander company. He would not have been able to do that. Andrew had a large amount of heart, so it was easily accomplished. That's not how... You don't need heart to run a business. My grandfather... In fact, the opposite was true. My grandfather would have been proud to see how Andrew helped it shine. The CEO position filled my father had no choice but let me decide my future, which isn't how that worked. He can still get me a job at the high end of the company, but whatever. Maybe he'd be beyond compared to not have to work there. No longer would I have the future carrying me in the corner to a corner. I would choose my life on my own. That being said, I was still scared of what the future was going to take me. What did I want to do? Did I want to help Andrew build the company? Did I want to venture off on my own? Susie reassured me that she would support me and help me through whatever I decided to do. I was grateful that she would never forget that promise. I was happy, and nothing could shake me down from that happiness. One morning, I woke up and took in all that happened, and it was, if it were all a dream, my life seemed to fall perfectly into place. It was almost
Is
surreal.
everything as you wanted, sweetie?
Oh shit! Cliffhanger into the sequel. I sharply turned my head to see a woman dressed in gold and black gown, staring at me in unnatural red eyes. For some reason, I felt like she was familiar. I couldn't place my finger on it. I'm really trying to avoid all this demon shit, guys. She twirled around in such a purple pencil, smiling at me with a happy look. I, however, wasn't happy to see an intruder. What the fuck? Get out of my house!
There's no about who I am. I just wanted to make sure you got what you desired. I didn't want to just leave you empty-handed.
What I desired? This is making no sense. Yet in my heart, I felt like it did. Something about her was making my heart both elated and angry, but I couldn't pin it down. Why did she appear in my room in the first place? Whoops. Whoever you are, you need to leave. I will not hesitate to call the police.
I'm leaving, all right. I just wanted a small pick-me-up. Chasing down boys and bringing them home was...
I felt suddenly weak staring at the woman. I felt a warm, fuzzy inside the body. I wanted to cure me. What was this feeling?
Would you mind if I steal a little kiss for the road? It'll be a long trek to where I'm going, and I need to make sure I have the energy to get there. It's a...
I felt myself numb. What was I doing? Woman smiled or walking over, leaning over me, kissing my cheek. I felt waves of energy just bleed from fucking right-clicked again. I'll just hold it. Confused, I almost moaned this feeling of the kiss. At this moment, the woman stepped away with a lick of her lips. She put her finger all over us and stepped away from me. I couldn't help but stare blankly at her in surprise and confusion.
Lovely. Now, this is the last time you'll see me. I hope you and your little Suzu have a wonderful life together.
The woman placed the purple pencil in the cleavage of her dress and began to leave the room. I was too stunned to move, but I watched as the woman opened my back on the window, floated up, and dropped on the balcony.
Thus, my price is paid.
I heard her voice echo in my mind before hearing a snap of a pencil, breaking my thoughts. What was I thinking about? It fucking did it again, god damn it. I let my mind wander to the future before my phone started ringing. I instantly picked it up. Hello?
Hey, can I come over?
Yeah, sure, what's
I
up?
just need to see you, okay?
Alright, see you in a bit. I grew worried. What was wrong? If something happened, my mind began to sort through the possibilities that could have occurred with Suzu. Soon enough, I heard Suzu's motorcycle pull up to the gate, and I rushed to the front door. I mean, we are dating. I would totally invite her to live in my fucking giant-ass mansion. We don't even have to live in the same room. I mean, it's just, convenience sake. But hey, whatever. I rushed to the front door and opened to see Suzu staring at me with seriously distressed look in her eyes.
Tell me you love me.
Oh, shit. Wait, Suzu, what
Just tell me.
Okay, I love you.
You love me?
Yeah, goddamn. Jeez, I love you a lot. Jesus. Before I knew it, Suzu rushed to me and held me tightly. I gasped, but wrapped her arms around Suzu, trying to comfort despite confusion. She obviously needed some love right now, and I would get my answers when she was okay.
I love you too. I never felt like this with anyone.
Oh. Shh. It's okay. Suzu, it's okay, girl. I held her close, patting her head gently. Susie relaxed my arm. She looked up at me, tears in
My
her eyes.
parents want you to come over for dinner.
Is there anyone right
My
now?
parents want to meet you as my girlfriend. They were shocked when they found out you and I were together, and it's really embarrassing. I don't want you to feel pressured, but they're serious. And now that they're connected with the mob, then...
Shh, Susie. Yeah, they're Italian. I knew that this was gonna happen. I mean, come on. You're gonna ask me over. It's gonna be obviously gonna be a thing. I would love to have dinner with you and your folks as your girlfriend. I'd do anything for you. Oh shit, kissing! She smiled wildly up at me, more tears falling down over her cheeks. She wrapped her arms around my arms and kissed me lovingly and surprisingly. As soon as she did, though, she pulled away.
I didn't mean to.
It's been several months and we haven't even kissed. Goddamn. Feeling bold, I grabbed her hand and pulled her back to me, wrapping my arms around her and kissing her with the same amount of love she gave me. She was shocked. I felt her relax my arms as she kissed me back. I hope she doesn't taste that succubus that I was just making out with. I didn't want to wake up, and this was indeed a dream. I felt light as a feather, not wanting to be let go of this woman in my arms. There was no words that could describe the emotions within me. I felt joy, happiness, ecstatic, high, all at once. Here I was, holding the woman that I wanted to be with like nothing else mattered. I vowed to cherish her and love her the remainder of my days and beyond. And that was my happily ever after. Susie's Love, ending F. Holy shit, real credits! We did it! Oh God, we did it! It took way longer than I thought it would, but we're here! Why is this game so deep? Okay, are we gonna get ending sequence? Am I gonna get sued for using this on the channel? This is a nice song. Okay, so you may have noticed that I had issues earlier with the plot and things happening. However, I was on ending F out of I don't know how many. So there was at least A, B, C, D, E, F. That's at least 6 endings. And that's just super pass. Just thinking about it realistically, there's an ending for all 5 of the boys. Hey, it does the voice actor. That's pretty cool. All 5 of the boys. Probably Susan and Naomi, so that's another 2. Probably one with Andrew, so I'll give him that. And I'll go with just 8. But already with just 8, that's a fucking lot. That's a lot of goddamn endings. So, if you're writing a story that's supposed to branch out into 8 different unique endings. Oh, and also the one I guess where you die. So I guess 9. That's at least 9 endings. That's a lot of fucking endings. So I can definitely forgive any of those little like plot things I don't like if you're going to branch out and do a whole bunch of different unique endings. I don't really know too much about the ending I got specifically. I feel like this is a nice song. I don't want to get this video taken down because we're including it, so I might mute it and then link it in the description of the video. In which case, give me just a moment. Okay, sorry. Oh, it's a Kickstarter game. That gives me give it more clear to give it. All right, so I had to do a little bit of editing there because whatchamacallit. I don't know about this song. I don't want it to get the channel taken down. So now I'm going to talk over this very, very quiet noise, and I'm probably going to put music on top of it so you can't hear it even then. Anywho, it's a really good song. I like it, so I'm probably going to link it. Okay, that guy has the nickname Shoulder Theory, and I don't like that. Because it's pretty nice. I like the song. And I want to take a minute to talk about the game. So, pretty much all I had stated before I realized that this music was really loud and probably copyrighted was that this here game has at least 9 endings. I was able to calculate that. 5 from the fucking boys, both of the girls for 7, and then, like, probably like a true ending, and then also the one where I died for trying to fight Diana, and that was stupid. So, I figured there's 9 endings at least. I don't know how many there are, actually. But there's at least 9. And also, this is a Kickstarter game. Totally a thing of fucking love. Okay. I myself didn't kind of like it at first. I wasn't really a fan of anything going on with any of the Demon Boys. Largely just because... How do I put this? Everything about them felt very forced. Interactions with them didn't really feel natural. And we didn't really have a lot of time to build on that. And they're all introduced so close to each other that I feel like it didn't... Good job. I like this game a lot. Michelle Laws, however you pronounce your name, is at the beginning. I don't feel like we got enough time. They're all too jammed in. And having a bunch of, hey, cool. Getting too much of, that exposition all at once. Kind of just, it pulled me away from everything. I already went over why I didn't like it. I don't feel like I need to go into more detail about that. It was one of those things where I felt like a lot of the things I was doing didn't really matter, because a lot of the choices I made with the Demon Boys were very, obvious choices. Whereas at the end there, I was saving a lot because I was like, I don't want to go down the wrong path because I'm just trying to get the fucking Caesar's Love ending, I guess. And I did. But there's a lot of shit to this game. A lot more than I thought. And it's free, so, go play it. You saw me go into a different ending, I guess. And if you want to see where that went, go play it. Go get it. It's free on Steam. And it's amazing. And it's really good. I have very minor gripes about the art and stuff, but it's just kind of a unique style. Once I got used to it, it bothered me less. I have to say that it really even bothered me a lot. It was just, I didn't really care for it at first, and then, after you stick with it a little bit, outside of a handful of kind of awkward shots, that I was like, this is not a good angle for this artist. Other than that, it was pretty good, and I didn't hate it. Once again, I feel like a lot of the character designs don't really fit in with the art direction of the text and a lot of the other accoutrements of the game. This font doesn't really fit with the themes, but whatever. I like that Taekwondo came in handy at the end, and that I fought a devil and I beat him up and embarrassed him in front of his crew so much that his crew left. I don't like kind of how there's a number of solutions to that situation, and despite the fact that the boys didn't really do anything for me all game, Diana at the end there was still like, yeah, you don't have these boys to protect you, and the devil dude was like, you don't have the boys to protect you, even though they didn't really do any protecting of me in the get-go. Throughout the story, they showed up, got real creepy, and then I was like, I guess you guys can stay here. And then we had a party and they helped me out, I guess. And they let me hang out with my friends, because apparently me and my friends couldn't hang out and help fucking set up the party at the same time, even though they offered, whatever. And then I let them train because apparently they didn't want to tell me that I was immune to fucking devil magic, which is pretty fucking a baller thing to know. And despite the fact that they could totally have beaten those two people who were by themselves, they didn't for some reason. Because they were in an area that was specifically designed to not let them use their cheater demon powers, and we could have beat his ass. Because I beat his ass by myself with limited knowledge of Taekwondo, I guess. And anyway, I kind of solved that situation myself with a specific path that I ended up taking, and I kind of didn't like. But that kind of thing happens even in big games, and it's not a big deal. I'm not gonna hold it against it. The writing wasn't... My main issue with it is that pretty much everything with the Devil Boys feels so much more rushed than everything else that we get with the game, despite them being they're in the fucking title screen. We spend 42 minutes to an hour before they even show up, and as a result I felt way more connected to all of the other characters I spent the past 40 minutes hanging out with out of this 3-hour game. The first quarter of the game you're not even with them. And I feel like if that is part of my issue here, is that I didn't really have any interest to do anything with the boys, because they weren't nearly as well established, because they essentially try to introduce 5 characters within like a 10-minute span, whereas with everything with your friends, with Suzu and Naomi, who I both like better than all of the boys, as well as like the dad and the mom character, even though the mom is like super nothing, she gets more time like with you individually than each of the boys, and you get it's more spread apart and it flows more naturally. It didn't feel like they're like, this is the character, this is the character, this is the character. No, you just kind of hang out with them for a little bit because it's not in a rush to tell you anything. Whereas with the boys, it feels like we have 6 characters in a room and we have to make them talk and do stuff. And I know from experience that, you know, having a scene with like a lot of characters all in the same general area can be very difficult to write, especially dialogue. Dialogue itself is really hard. And I know I'm rushing through this because I'm trying not to waste your guys' time. I'm trying to be very direct. Anyway, all of this being said, I wasn't really interested in like anything going on with the Demon Boys, and maybe it's because I wasn't, you know, like I didn't like any of them right off the bat. Like the only one who I thought was kind of down to earth was the middle one here, this guy. I don't even remember his name, and that's just because he like was a normal guy who wasn't a fucking creep or a weird asshole, who was like weirdly like, you know, overtly flirty, and like calling me princess and shit. Like, he was like a normal dude, and I feel like the least tropey, I guess, but he's still tropey. It's probably, everyone is kind of tropey, which is another issue I have. Anyway, I wasn't really interested in any of the boys, and I just kind of ended up going down the path of just being like, yeah, Susie's cool, I guess. And I feel like that's kind of like the biggest issue here is, like, there's so many different paths you can take, and like love interests, that none of them really feel all that super strong. I haven't gone through all of them, so I can't say that for sure. But at least with like the Suzu path, it felt like half of the game was me attempting to go down that path, and the other was just like a bunch of shit I didn't really care about. So it kind of feels like it's trying to be the best of both worlds, both like a regular thing and also have this like crazy kind of demon thing going on. And I feel like it would have been better to have just focused on one thing instead of doing both things like kind of good, okay. I'm not going to say it's bad with the demon path or anything because I didn't really go that way, so I can't really tell you for sure. But all of this is just to correlate myself to say it's pretty good. I would actually like to go through and look at all of the other endings. Although I don't know if I want to play through it myself. I would just mostly just mash through it and just go hard, see all the different shit. But, you know, we all have stuff to do, and I've been here for like 4 hours at this point. I took like a 30-minute break halfway through. This is pretty long, actually, for like a free-to-play Steam visual novel. And it's got a bunch of shit, and you should check it out. I think it's really good. I just went down... Like, I just wanted to be a normal person. I just wanted to go a normal fucking path. None of the boys, I guess, could really seduce me. Diana almost did. I almost fucking I don't like older women. Anyway, this has been the first series of The Bookshelf, the new show on the Moist Box, where we play visual novels. And then rate them, I guess. So, kabam, writing, not bad, pretty decent. It's pretty good for what it is. Romance isn't the hardest thing, but dialogue and like how much of it is centered on this is hard, and I'll give them that. So, you know, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. The art, not for everyone, but it's definitely not bad. I've seen worse. It's pretty good, I think. And it's just saying pretty good. The kind of like aesthetic I liked, but it didn't really match, so I kind of had to give it weird points on that. I like the different branching paths. That's cool, and they actually, like, your choices seem to actually lead you down actual different paths, which isn't a thing every game does, so points for that. Voice acting was actually very surprising and not bad. I like the voice acting. There were some parts where they were definitely peaking the microphones. But, you know, like, it's not terrible. I mean, at no point was I like, oh, this is really biblical cringy. No, I didn't ever have that reaction. And I liked most of the voice acting for the most part. Although there was a couple parts with Edgy Boy Man. I don't know why I keep bringing him up, but like I feel like his voice actor didn't really have a lot of fun doing that. Especially like every time he was angry, which was all the time, it felt like weird. Like it was very obviously not like a natural voice, which, you know, isn't terrible. I mean, it's a cartoon. I mean, it's not cartoon. It's a cartoon character thing of them having voices. So it's not a realistic voice because it's a thing, but you know what I mean. It's kind of distracting, is my point. But not everything has voice acting, so it's getting bonus points no matter what. So overall, it's pretty damn good. This is a good experience. You should go do it. You should go check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's actually kind of funny. I mean, I laughed a couple times. Go check it out. It's pretty good. Hey guys, it's me, your host of The Bookshelf, which is I guess what we're calling the show. I guess we couldn't think of anything better. It's me, Sunny Lion, and this is the Too Long Didn't Read, or you just want to skip through me kind of mumbling over myself for the credits, I guess. Essentially what this is just like a summary of everything I was trying to say. This is actually being recorded like a couple days after I finished the game. I don't like my mouth. Sorry. And the reason I'm doing this is because I wanted to take the time to properly think about my experience and whether or not I liked the game or not. And it wasn't so much of that. I worded that poorly. The whole point of this is the part that is impromptu. I have the rest of it pretty much written out for you. Anyway, I'm much better at the written word than I am just speaking off the top of my head. Okay, so here's our scoreboard. The things that I think are important to a visual novel, or the novel aspect, the story, and, well, the visuals. I feel like those are the big two. Those should be worth a lot of points. Everything else is kind of more specific towards the game itself, which I'll get into. So starting from the top, the story of Seduce Me was, I think, personally spread a little bit too thin. What I mean when I say that is that we spend a lot of time setting up and very little time setting up other things. Like, we spend maybe, I'm going to say like 40 to 45 minutes, almost an hour, setting up player characters and the best friends. But then we spend maybe 20 minutes setting up 5 characters all at once in the span of that, like 10 to 20 minutes. Like, that's rushed. That the pacing isn't great. And a lot of the Incubus story feels very forced, and I didn't really enjoy a lot of it. There's a lot of suspending of the disbelief. But it was still enjoyable. And for the most part, it was pretty interesting. I'm not the biggest fan when they try to explain the science, quote-unquote, behind magic, but it's fine. It was interesting. It was intriguing. It kept me invested. I wanted to keep playing and find out the rest of the stuff, but like I have a bunch of other shit to do, so it's not like the highest thing on the priority list, and I'm definitely not going to do it for the channel. There's a lot of other things we have to do. I think that it was written pretty well for the most part. Like, there's no, like, outside of like the introduction to the Incubi, I think there isn't really any giant plot holes. And what I mean when I say that is that as a human being, if I came into a new house and there was a bunch of bloody people, like, immediately I'd be calling 911. I wouldn't even think about it. And if by some aspect they convinced me not to do that immediately, I still wouldn't really trust them. Maybe it's because I'm American and I don't trust people. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But I, at the very least, would have locked my door when I was living with a bunch of people with magic seduction powers. Who, you know, gain life force energy based on my sexual desires. But hey, you know, just keep that door open, I guess. Like, I feel like it would have been way more believable just to send a text to fucking my friends Naomi and Suzu, just to be like, hey guys, there's a lot I have butlers apparently, and they're like all dudes. I'm not super comfortable around it. You know, just like anything like that. You know, it doesn't even have to be like that of that nature. It just feels like that's not what a human being would do, and I've brought that up before, and I just still don't like it. But that's pretty much the biggest gripe for me when it comes to the story. For the most part, I had a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed everything, like, outside of that. And I even ended up liking things that I first thought I wouldn't like. Like, everything that happens with Malice? I don't remember his name anymore. I'm bad with names. Everything that ended up happening with him, I ended up super liking. Like, his voice actor was having a blast. There's that hot demon babe who was like fucking kicking his ass and shit. Like, it was so cool. Fucking, I kung fu fought him and it was rad. And it was a good time. And I liked where that went. I thought it was really cool. And I had a lot of fun with it. And I didn't think I would. So when it comes down to the story, I'm going to say like a strong 7.5. I really did like the story. Visuals, on the other hand, were a little bit rough. I don't want to be mean to the artist. They obviously worked really hard, you know. It just, you know, it's not bad. It just takes a little bit of time to adjust to it. I still found it very aesthetically pleasing after a little bit. It's still very enjoyable. However, I think I might have said this in one of the videos. It's been a while. But that I feel like it lacks its own sense of style and personality. Like, I can't think of any people. Essentially, I feel like there was a lot of people back in high school who could draw pretty much frame for frame exactly like this. It didn't feel unique. It didn't feel its own thing. It just felt like someone fresh out of high school who was drawing this, you know? Like, anyone who was part of anime club back in high school fucking drew like this. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that they're bad artists. I'm just saying that it to me, I didn't feel like it had its own, like, style. And that's minus points to me. But that being said, once again, I still found it aesthetically pleasing. It's gonna pass for me. The character designs, I thought, were strong. Like, the things that different characters wore, you know. And I definitely didn't hate it. I want to give it more points, but, like, without that, you know, uniqueness, I don't feel like I can or should. And it's a strong 6. It's better than average, I think, but it's not strong enough to merit, like, that 7, which is, like, really good. Sound design, there's, like, you can buy the soundtrack to this game, and the music in it is good, but if you've watched this playthrough, I've had to put a lot of Persona music in because there's a lot of periods of time in which there's no sound in the background. It's very absent from a lot of the game, and I feel like that was done mostly because they're voice acting. But there's a way you can, like, you put the sound in the background, you tone it down. And I feel like there's also the issue of the music itself is very well done, I think. I liked it a lot. And I feel like they were afraid that if they put the music in, it would kind of steal the scene from the voice actors. That's just me, you know, thinking. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not saying that's what happened, but that's just in my head why the decision to have so much, like, put so much work into the music and then not put it in so many times where it could be, you know, just feels a little bit weird, and I feel like that might be one of the reasons why. And then there's the voice acting, which I was going to give its own category, but I feel like I shouldn't because not all visual novels have voice acting. And the voice acting, allow me to start by saying it feels very fun, and I liked it a lot. You can really tell that the people doing it are having a good time and are very passionate about what they're doing. With the exception, there's only one character who I didn't like their voice, and that was the mom. And that was because, to me, like, afterward, after I finished everything I had done, I was, like, eating lunch because I was eating. Because I hadn't eaten all fucking day because I went to school and started fucking recording that shit. I guess it wasn't lunch. Technically, it should have been dinner. It was late. But, and I was thinking to myself, like, man, that mom, like, that voice actor, not to talk shit, you know, they tried. But in my head, I was just like, they could have just been like, fuck it, that's good enough, and then just set their voice lines in. Like, I feel like if someone would tell me, was like, yeah, that voice actor didn't really want to be part of it, I would have been like, oh yeah, you can kind of tell. It just feels like they're not having nearly as much fun as everyone else. But that being said, I like the voice acting more than I feel like I should have, just because that has like that unique charm to it of like these group of people really having fun with what they're doing. But there's like mic peaking, there's scrambled audio. You can tell that some parts are very compressed. Not all mic quality is the same. Like, it's very far from professional. And just checking out some of the reviews for the game that already exist, there's a number of people who just on visuals alone disregarded it, who just on the voice acting alone had to discard it because they thought it was cringy. I never thought it was cringy. I actually, like I said, I really like the voice acting. But I can understand that if you want professional quality audio, because I know, like I'd say like 2 or 3 people who are really audiophiles, and like this quality of audio in their game would just ruin it for them. And I get that. I understand that sense, that mindset. So I don't blame people for having that mindset, you know. It's just not what I think. I liked it regardless, and I would give it a strong 7 on sound design altogether. The music is good, the voice acting is fun, and I liked it. And I wanted to take a second to talk about the choices, and that a lot of games that have these like choosable options say that they matter, but really they don't. Like, things are still going to happen the way that they're going to happen regardless. A lot of Telltale games have that problem. A lot of the David Cage games, the Quantic Dream games have that issue. Like, in fact, David Cage, the guy who behind like games like Heavy Rain and Indigo Prophecy, Beyond Two Souls, if you remember that train wreck, and they actually took him like away from the main writer's chair for Detroit Beyond Human. I'm just gonna throw it back out there. People should know that more. A lot of those games, he says only to play once because he doesn't want you to go through it again, because then you'd realize that pretty much nothing you did really mattered. And this game doesn't do that. This game made me care about every decision I made. It made me save before doing everything because I was afraid I was going to fuck everything up. And that's good. I like that. That's good. That's very important. Visual novels don't have a lot of technical gameplay, and the decisions that you do should feel like they matter, because that's your only input as a player into the game. Like, you're putting yourself into the game. The player character 10 times out of 10 is a fucking like blank slate for you to relate with and then put yourself into. So for your choices to actually have impact on the things happening around you to the story is incredibly important to like just the feel of the game. And I like that. And my dogs are barking, which of course, fuck, where was I? Sorry about that. The dog's barking. That's a problem. It's very windy this time of year, and every noise, we'll set the little one off. Coleman's a good boy. He just barks because he's a Chihuahua. Anyway, what the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, pretty much. It's cool that, you know, my decisions matter, and I think that's really good game design. However, I do have a fear that while my decisions do matter, that only specific ones do. And what I mean when I say that is that you have all these options that kind of set things up to put you on different paths. And only these select ones really can impact the direction that your game is going to go. And I can't really confirm or deny that, because I just played it once, and you'd have to play it more than once to really confirm that. But it felt like my decisions mattered, and a couple of the times I did fuck myself over by just choosing the wrong one. So, you know, I would probably say that my choices pretty much all do have some kind of influence on the game around me. So, I'm going to give that like an 8 on my choices. 8 out of 10. It's fucking awesome. And this is going to be the other category for our show here. And that is it worth the price? Because, you know, a lot of visual novels cost money. This one, however, was fucking free and filled to burst with goddamn content. Between 9 love interests, recording bloopers, a CG art gallery, an original soundtrack, and 22 goddamn endings, this game has so much goddamn shit in it. I cannot believe it. For fucking free. Go play it. It's totally worth the price. It's cost nothing. It's amazing. It's totally worth it. It's totally worth your time. Totally worth the price because it's free, and it's a great time. The over/under, is that Seduce Me the Otome, and it's a passion project. It's the result of clearly a lot of work and love that just kind of creates this really interesting charm that is charming. Yes, it has flaws, but none of them are enough to really ruin the experience. Unless, you're an audiophile and the mic quality shit really bothers you, or you really can't get over the visual design, which I think is a bunch of baloney. You totally can if you just play it for a little bit. Then it's super great. None of the bad things that I've said about it have ruined the experience at all. I really enjoyed myself regardless. I think it's totally worth a playthrough, and that it's totally a lot of fun. And Kuma's growling again. And you should go try it out. It's free, and it has a sequel if you want more of this. It's a great time. Go try it out. I'm gonna give the whole thing like a 7 out of 5 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10. Like, it's a great time. Go try it out. It's free. And I had a lot of fun doing it. I'm pretty sure you will do. Yeah, there he goes.